do today, Cosette? You want to pretend to be something other than a cat? What would you like to be? A bunny? Okay, that sounds fun. Let's do it together. You want to hop? Boing. 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 Oh, hello, friends. Welcome to Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. You just caught Cosette and I pretending to be bunny rabbits. I'm not a very good bunny rabbit, but I did have fun hopping. Do you ever like to pretend to be something other than a little boy or a little girl? Yeah, we do too. It's fun to dress up and it's fun to play pretend. Cosette, what's that? Oh, well, Cosette was pretending to be a bunny because of the story she chose for us today. It's called It's Not Easy Being a Bunny, and I can guarantee that's true. Just hopping made me tired, and I'm not even really a bunny, so I'm sure it's not easy. Do you want to hear all about our friend in the story and how he feels being a bunny? Yeah, me too. All right, all we have to do is rub our hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and we'll take a magic carpet ride to a special place and read our story. Ready? I wish to go on an enchanted journey. Welcome. This is a really special location. We're gonna read this story together. It's not easy being a bunny. And you see I've put on my white so I look a little bit like our bunny here. This story is by Marilyn Sadler. Ready? PJ Funnybunny was very sad. He did not like being a bunny. His mother made him eat cooked carrots every day. He had far too many brothers and sisters, and his ears were very big. One day, PJ decided to leave home. I don't want to be a bunny anymore, said PJ. I want to be a bear. And PJ went to live with the bears. But when the bears went to sleep for the winter, PJ could not sleep at all. Living with the bears wasn't very exciting. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear. I want to be a bird. And PJ went to live with the birds. PJ liked being a bird until he tried to fly. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird. I want to be a beaver. And PJ went to live with the beavers. The beavers liked to work really hard. PJ did not like to work at all. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird or a beaver. I want to be a pig. And PJ went to live with the pigs. But the only thing the pigs liked to do was to sit in the mud. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird or a beaver or a pig. I want to be a moose. And PJ went to live with the moose. But PJ could not make good moose calls. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird or a beaver or a pig or a moose. I want to be a possum. So PJ went to live with the possums. The possums liked to hang upside down, but hanging upside down gave PJ a headache. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird or a beaver or a pig or a moose or a possum. I want to be a skunk. And PJ went to live with the skunks. It did not take PJ very long to find out that he did not like living with the skunks. Ooh. So PJ said, I don't want to be a bear or a bird or a beaver or a pig or a moose or a possum or most of all, a skunk. What I really want to be is a bunny. So PJ hurried home. The Funnybunnies were very happy to see him. PJ was very happy to see them. That night, PJ ate all his cooked carrots and played with every one of his brothers and sisters. He was so happy to be a bunny again that he did not care that his ears were very big. At least everyone can see that I am a bunny, PJ said, and not a bear, or a bird, or a beaver, or a pig, or a moose, or a possum, or a skunk. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story of PJ Funnybunny and his discovery to figuring out he liked being a bunny best of all. If you could be any one of the animals in the story, what do you think you would choose? I think if I had to choose, I might pick a bear. They like to eat a lot of berries and yummy things like honey, and then they take really long naps, so that sounds pretty good to me. But at the end of the day, I like being a genie best of all. I get to go on these enchanted journeys with you and do fun crafts and activities. As a matter of fact, I have a great craft picked out for us today where we can make a bunny mask and pretend to be a bunny. All you're gonna need is a paper plate and some string to tie it around your face. We're gonna use some scissors, maybe some glue. If you wanna add some feathers or sparkly things to your bunny mask, anything you think you might like to make on your bunny mask. If all you have is some crayons, that's fine too. We'll cut a shape out of the paper plate and we'll make our bunny mask. And it'll be a lot of fun, and we can do that together now. You ready? Let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate my face on this plate. All right, to make my eyes, I have this pencil that I'm going to use to trace around a small circular object. I'm actually going to use, I have these little tea lights left over in my house, and they're about the size of my eye, so I'm going to use those so that I can make two eyes that match. And you'll see that it's not completely covered. I see it enough that I can cut that out. Now this happens to be in the middle of a circle, so I can't cut from the side because that will wreck my mask. This is where a hole punch might come in, and you can punch a hole and then use your scissors to go in and cut. If you have smaller scissors than this, that might work good. I am gonna just use the edge of my scissor to puncture a hole, and then I'm gonna cut. There, I have two eyes cut out. Now, if you would want to make your bunny a different color, this is a great time to do that. You can color this, you can paint this, you can put stickers on it, whatever you like to do. I am gonna keep mine white because I'm trying to make mine look a little bit like PJ Funnybunny, so I'm not gonna do a lot of coloring and painting details on here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of drawing onto my bunny mask, and again, you can use paint, you can use markers, colored pencils, whatever you like. I am going to use a black paint marker because it acts like a marker with a tip, so it's easy for me to draw with, but it's paint, so it will be nice and dark and be able to see it really well on my plate. I have picked out some pom-poms. I've got a couple of white and I've got a pink that I'm going to use to add onto PJ's face to make his nose features. But before I'm going to do that, I'm going to just draw his little mouth, and I'm going to give him a couple little freckles, just like the PJ Funnybunny. I'm going to just place my nose kind of in the area that I think I'm going to put it before I make my mouth, just so I have a guide to make my mouth. And then I'm just going to draw a line down, and I'm going to curve it up a little bit, because bunnies have these really cute little mouths and cheeks, don't they? So I'm going to use that. And then I remember in our story, PJ Funnybunny had a couple little freckle marks where his whiskers come out. So I'm going to just go ahead and add a couple of those. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue on my bunny nose. If you use regular glue or glue stick, just push down nice and firm so that you know that that nose piece is going to get stuck on there. I used, like I said, a couple small white pom-poms under his pink nose to kind of represent some of that cheek on our bunny. I'm going to add in my two holes on the sides of my mask that I'll use later to tie my elastic. So there's one. It's pretty small. You can widen it up with your scissor point. Just kind of spin your scissors in there just like so. And again, if you want to be more precise than I'm being, you can use a ruler to make a straight line across your plate first, or anything that has a straight line, and you can try and line your holes up nice and evenly using that straight edge. You can see that they're in the same spot. You can have a parent, adult, or a sibling or a friend help you line up your plate above your ears and mark the plate with a marker before you add your holes too, that's fine. However you like to do it. The next thing my bunny needs are ears. So you can do this with another paper plate if you'd like, or you can use construction paper or cardboard. Whatever you have for materials is going to work just fine. I'm going to get some construction paper and show you how to make a couple of easy ears with construction paper. Right? I have here a piece of pink and a piece of white construction paper. I'm going to have the outer edge of my ears be white, and on the inside I'm going to add a little bit of pink so it looks a little bit like bunny ears. And for this I'm just going to draw kind of a long rectangle shape, but add a triangle to the top. And then bring it back down. So that's what my ear is going to look like. I know it's a little hard to see. You'll see it better when I cut it out. And I'm going to cut one out, and then I'm going to cut a second one out using my first one as the template. If you cut one out at a time, you can check to make sure you're happy with how the length of that ear is going to look with your mask. So that looks pretty good to me. I could shorten it up just a little bit maybe. So I'm going to just leave enough in the back though, because I'm going to glue mine simply in the inside just like that, so that it stays nice and firm in there and it kind of flops around. PJ Funnybunny had floppy ears, didn't he? So I'm going to leave mine just like that with a little bit of extra to glue down in the inside of my mask. Now that I have my two ears cut out, I'm going to cut out a similar shape in the pink color to line the inside of my ear with. So to do that, I'm going to actually trace my ear again on the pink, and then I'm just going to cut inside of it and make it a little skinnier. And you can see I'm not worried about my lines being perfect because I know I'm not going to cut right along those lines. They're just a guide. So when you're done, you'll have a piece that should fit inside your ear, something like that. So the next step is to glue those into our ears. Once your two ears are glued, then you can attach them to the inside of your mask. So you just flip the mask over, and you're gonna flip your ears over so that the white part is on the inside of the mask. That way your cute bunny details are on the outside where your face will go. As far as placement goes, that's up to you too. I kind of like mine in interesting places. They don't have to line up exactly right. Now, if your ears are too floppy going backwards, you can add a little bit glue to the top of your plate and secure those so they come forward. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my elastic to the mask so that I know I can tie it on. I'm going to stick the elastic from the inside of the plate out, and I'm going to either tie it around the edge like this if you like, or if you can tie a nice knot here so that it doesn't pull through your mask, you can do that. You can even glue after making a knot so it will hold firm. I'm going to go ahead and just tie a knot. Finish tying your knot, just give it a gentle tug, make sure it's not going to tug through your plate, and then you can trim off the excess once you know you've got plenty of knot there. Now this part, you might want to measure how long your either elastic is or how long your string is with your individual face. Okay, so that's the inside of my mask. I've got my elastic, it's pretty stretchy, so that I'll be able to put this on. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my whiskers using my pipe cleaner. You can use whatever materials you have available to you. You don't have to get things that you don't have or worry if you don't have what I have. You know what, in fact, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and make our bunny whiskers using the construction paper we already used, so I can show you you don't have to have pipe cleaners or anything else. You can just use paper. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting some rectangles as long as I want here. I'm gonna make sure they stick out a little bit longer than my mask so they look like whiskers. And I'm folding it in half lengthwise. I'm gonna fold mine in half lengthwise again. You can see I have some pencil marks on this paper because I used it earlier. That's okay. You can erase those if you want, or you can make sure those are on the inside of your mask. Now that I have that folded, I have 4 pieces that I can cut out and make 4 whiskers. I want to do 3 on each side, so I need 6 total. So I'm going to cut another piece that's about the same length, and I'm going to use my glue stick again, and I'm going to glue them right onto the front of my mask, and you can do the same. And okay, there's my bunny's whiskers. Now those are pretty long, so if you decide they're too long after you've already glued them, guess what? You just take your scissors and cut them up. The only other thing I'm going to do to make my bunny a little bit different, a little bit special, and a little bit more like PJ Funnybunny is I'm going to make a little bow tie at the bottom of my mask to attach right. I'm going to use this same piece I used to make my eyes to make the middle of the tie. So once I have my circle traced on my paper, I'm going to add 2 triangles. I'm going to add a triangle below it, down, across, and up, and now I'm going to add one on the other side. So for this one, we're going to cut the triangles, and where it touches the outside of the circle, with the polka dots, you can use a circle that's maybe smaller than the one you used to make your tie with, and then you can cut out a bunch of little circles for your polka dots. I'm going to use my glue stick cap because it's smaller than the tea light that I used, and those will make nice round polka dots. And then we cut them out. After you've decided you have enough, you can kind of lay out an idea of a pattern that you like for your tie, and then you go ahead and just glue them on. So you can go ahead and attach it. I'm going to attach it to the front of the plate this time because it's supposed to look like it's right below PJ Funnybunny's chin. Okay, there you have it. There is my PJ Funnybunny mask. I hope you were able to make one, and I hope you'll enjoy wearing it around and showing your creativity off at home with your family and your friends. And I hope that this inspires you to make other fun projects with the materials that you save and recycle, and just have fun. Welcome back to the Magic Lamp. I sure hope you had a great time reading It's Not Easy Being a Bunny with me today, and making our very own bunny mask. And remember, you can use those materials and make other masks and pretend to be a lion or a monkey or an elephant or anything you want to be, anytime you want. All you need is a little creativity and imagination. Cosette and I hope you will come back and see us again in our magic lamp soon. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye!